Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Good Thursday morning. My name is Casey Halpern. I am your host, and I'm thrilled to be joined by my friend and colleague, as always, Ryan Borman. Ryan, good Thursday morning. I'm in a little bit of a sour mood, as I'm sure you are, as the New York Yankees are once again going home. But before we dive in and do a small autopsy, how you doing today?
I'm also in a little bit of a sour mood. It's been a rough week in sports the last week and a half. I feel like I've been texting my group chats and been a little bit more riled up than usual. I've kind of just been defeated after, the Yankees moved on last week, and then I went to the Jets game on Sunday and just watched an uncompetitive football team. And it's just been, like I said, I've just been a little bit defeated. So I have a little sour taste in my mouth as well. Just feeling in the sports world currently.
Yeah. Look, it's I understand it very well. But before we get into the New York Jets and all that other fun stuff, before we show you how to make money, um, once again, the New York Yankees spent $300 million to just choke at home in October. Again, and I watched every single brutal inning. To quote my good friend George Costanza, attention, Steinbrenner and front office morons. Your reign of error must end. Let me paint you a picture, Ryan. The Yankees just posted an 8.47 ERA in the ALDS, the highest in any postseason series in franchise history. Let me tell you that again. They just posted the highest ERA in franchise history in any postseason series in 120 years of Yankees baseball. I mean, pretty pathetic. An entire lineup not named Aaron Judge batted like little leaguers with sub 700 OPS. That's not baseball. It's just a masterclass in choking, and it happens time and time again. Anthony Volpe, the golden boy prospect, who they've coddled for 3 years, despite playing like a replacement player, set the all-time K rate record in a division series, the worst ever. And what does boy genius Aaron Boone do? Keep trotting him out there while you have a pest to opposing pitchers in Jose Caballero, who, mind you, put up an 830 OPS with the Yankees, just sitting right there on the bench. This is your New York Yankees, folks, where fundamentals go to die, where October turns their bats into ice, and where Aaron Boone manages like he's playing MLB The Show with a broken controller. But Ryan, it's no secret. Hal Steinbrenner loves this stuff. As long as they make the playoffs and sell those $30 beers in October, as long as they have a home playoff game, then it's mission accomplished. Supreme Court Justice Brian Cashman and Aaron Boone aren't getting fired. They've got lifetime contracts. I'm afraid to say it. The Yankees are not trying to win championships. They're basically just trying to win earning reports. And until that changes, we're just going to have to get used to them choking on our TV in October. So it's really sad.
Yeah, I mean, I can't really echo more than what you said in general too. It's just sad. I mean, they had 4 or 5 guys with over 800 OPSs in the regular season drop down to 4 or 500 mark in the postseason. I mean, with the little mistakes that they had yesterday in the game, like we had Jazz error, Cam letting the ball go through the middle. If these guys can't hit the baseball, we're not going to win games regardless. So there's just it's just insane to see. I'm okay with the high strikeout rate that they have, but then you combining it with the fact that there's no walks, that no one's getting on base, they're not getting any sort of hits. It was just completely different hitters than we saw in the regular season, and time and time again, it's unacceptable and just it's pitiful to watch as a fan.
Well, Bob,
Regular season rioters and playoff droppers, and of course, the one year we finally get Aaron Judge to tee off in the postseason, he gets absolutely no help from the rest of his team. So it's just everything's backwards.
what boggles my mind is just like they'll see this result and do absolutely nothing about it, which is crazy because all they care about is obviously the bottom line because they have an owner who's just willfully ignorant to everything else. The only time he actually seemed to like really make a statement was after they missed the playoffs 2 years ago, which is when they obviously went out and traded for Juan Soto, only to then let him walk. But then that's all they did. They sat on their hands the rest of the offseason, right? Their big moves was also getting Alex Verdugo, who is I don't even
I don't
think
even get me started on him.
I don't think is in
He's like one of
base.
my least favorite Yankees ever.
And then they went out and signed Marcus Stroman instead of signing Blake Snell, which was obviously a horrible decision. Look, this is not the same old New York Yankees, unfortunately, and it sucks to say that nothing will change. There's nothing that makes me believe that something will change. I do think if they actually lost to the Red Sox at home, I think something might have changed. But obviously, since they made the ALDS and got 2 more home playoff games, some added revenue to give them 5 home playoff games total, Hal loves that. Some nice cushion for him in his back pocket. So that's all that matters to them. It's sad, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. No, I mean, I don't know. I agree. If they lost to the Red Sox, I think there would have been pretty immediate changes. But I mean, because they won that series and Cam bailed us out, that we I don't think that we're gonna see immediate changes, even though they need it so badly. It's just unacceptable. Like the product they've put on the field as Yankee fans and wasting the primes of some very good players. I mean, Stanton was incredibly disappointing this postseason for someone who's been so good for them in the postseason the last couple of years and the entirety of him being a Yankee. So I mean I feel like we could go on this all day, and they're going to have to make some serious changes in the offseason to try to address all of this stuff. And Volpe kind of can't come back. I was him in the on deck circle as the 8th batter with the 3 bats with the bat weights just reminded me of like Little League baseball when you have your 9th batter who's going up against like a pitcher who's throwing like 80 miles per hour and has no chance and knows they have no chance, but it just looked like a funny thing.
The sick thing is they will probably blame a nagging shoulder injury on his failures
I
this
know
year,
it's coming.
despite the fact that he's shown throughout 3 seasons, which isn't a small sample size, that he just isn't cut out to be the everyday starting shortstop for the New York Yankees. I mean, he just set the highest K rate record in divisional series history. Like there were free outs.
Yeah, he also was like it looked like he every time there was two strikes, it looked like he just didn't even know if he was going to swing or not, and then he just kind of took like a half swing half the time too. Like he got hosed on a couple calls early in the count, but he just looked every at bat just looked uncompetitive at almost all points of it. After that, game 1 home run in that he
Yeah.
hit, it was that like after that, it's just been abysmal.
After I think Carl Ravage it was who coined them as October Volpe. If I ever hear that again, you should just remove yourself from any broadcasting booth, please. Like, I mean, that is just insanity. What's crazy though? Anthony Volpe is the exact type of hitter that should be doing what the Blue Jays hit batters do. Just absolutely grind that bat, fight off every single pitch, foul balls off, like just be a pest at the plate. I mean, credit to the Blue Jays. They are
They're a good hitting team.
They are a way more well-rounded team, clearly way better coached. Obviously, that's an obvious. I don't know who their hitting coach is, but if I was the Yankees, I would do everything in my power to try and pry him away because they just grind at bats. They wear you down. They're always fighting tooth and nail. And the Yankees basically just don't do any of that. Well, at least in the postseason. In the regular season, they usually do. But as you just saw last night in the 8th inning with bases loaded and 2 outs, Austin Wells gets up to the plate and just first pitch swinging, fly out. You don't even see a pitch. Meanwhile, the guy can't even find the strike zone.
I'm also usually like a defender. Like I got a lot of texts about that right after. I'm usually the defender of like not like a defender of swinging at a good pitch and hitting it, but like that the pitch that he swung at, just like if it was in his wheelhouse, like middle in, and he just missed it and pulled it for a fly out. It's one thing. It was high and away. Like he doesn't hit a lot of opposite field home runs. Like it's it was a 2-seamer high and away. Like it's just why are you swinging? Like if you're honed in on one pitch and you get that pitch, sure, and you just miss it, like I can live with it. But like that couldn't have been the pitch that he was looking for. There's absolutely no way. Like you have to take it, especially after the at-bats that they were having before that and the momentum that they had. Like there's just no like that one's inexcusable.
It's just it's a litany of failures. Aside from Aaron Judge and Ryan McMahon, honestly. Shout out to him.
You guys.
Yeah. You don't need 9 guys to hit to win. Like
he pinch hit for McMahon too after he was the only one our only run. they went a little too far with the lefty righty stuff, and they didn't play Caballero yesterday after he Volpe put up was a nothing burger for multiple games. Like I don't see how you don't make a change. Then they didn't sub Caballero for defense for Rosario after the fact, and they hit a ball down the line, so they ended up getting an extra run out of that. I just some of the decisions don't really make a whole lot of sense.
It's they're a laughing stock. That's that at the end of the day, like the Yankees continue to get embarrassed at home in the playoffs, and they don't do anything about it. They don't care about how other teams perceive them. Just look at what Joe Kelly said last offseason. Just look how Big Poppy and Vladdy Jr., shout out to him, had an unbelievable series. Just basically
Never
made a
pitched him in the
mockery of
first
them
inning.
last night on the post-game show. But I'm sure Supreme Court Justice Ruth Booney Ginsburg will use that all as motivation next year.
Yeah, they should have never thrown pitch. They threw a pitch to Vlad in the first inning and he got an RBI hit. Like I don't what first base was open. What were we even thinking there? He wasn't he's basically not getting out the whole series. There's just put him on. There's no reason for it.
It's sad. These aren't the Yankees that I was accustomed to growing up. This is just a business model on the field. This game is played on spreadsheets for them. They don't really care about trying to win championships. They're basically just trying to beef their earnings reports. And unfortunately, nothing's going to change. So we just have to get used to this new way of Yankee baseball. But I'm going to move on.
We could do the whole stream about this if we really wanted to.
I could
We're
do
not
this
going
for
to.
an hour. We could just pull up stats, just displaying
Yeah.
how feeble they are. It's just last thing. Like it's crazy to me. Every October this happens. Like they literally just cannot hit. They don't have guys on the Blue Jays who can just grind at bats in the postseason. Like, yes, I'm not saying that they need just guys who put the ball in play. That's not how you're going to win, right? You obviously still need to crush dingers, right? You need to hit the long ball to win. But you need guys that are going to give you productive at bats. And I don't know where these guys have went. Like even last year, Austin Wells had a really good approach at the plate, and this year that completely evaporated. I don't know what's going on, but obviously things need to
He
be
even
addressed. What?
Sorry to cut you off. He even had, I think it was just like those last yesterday. Like he had big hit in the Red Sox game. He had a big hit in the Blue Jays game. He had some great at bats, and then he just fully lost his approach in yesterday's game. Like he had some big hits and just he just lost his approach in the big moment yesterday. I don't know.
Tough. But let's move on. I can't really waste another breath
We're
about
done.
them.
It's hockey season.
Hockey season. Rangers are 0-1. Good start for
Yeah, they
us.
got shut out at home. So there we go. It never ends.
But before we obviously get into some week 6 talk, I heard you're going to show us how to make some money today. Is that true?
Yeah, hopefully.
All right. Well, I will kick it over to you to show us how we can capitalize on some of these promos around. Do you see?
Share my screen. What are you saying?
No, you have a share button, right?
I believe I do. I'm looking to do it right now. Did it populate? Yep, should have.
Oh,
Did it not?
that was my fault. No, that's my fault.
Okay. Yeah, so I think today I'm going to look at we have a couple boosts. I'm going to just focus on I think FanDuel and DraftKings for today. I believe we have a 30% boost on anything for the Eagles and the Giants game. So I think the first thing we're going to go and we could what we standard do is we'll come into the boost matcher on a weekly basis and we have a $50 max and we're going to call our primary sportsbook FanDuel. And sorry, I'm looking up to the right to the camera. We're going to search for the Giants. And it looks like the best opportunity for me in New Jersey is the first half money line here for the Giants and the Eagles. So you could boost the first half money line with a 30% boost for the Giants and lock in $8 of profit here with this boost. Now, I want to go into another that's just one of the FanDuel boosts. I want to go into another another tool that we have on the site that think is underutilized a little bit here, and we want to make sure that we make people aware of it. It is the boost match or edge. So,
Could you do me a favor and just zoom in? My eyes are
oh
horrible. Please.
yeah, how do I? Let me see if I can. Is
There you go.
this? Tell me when. I got
Yeah,
the
no, that's
stream
great.
on like a smaller screen. Okay, so
That's
now I
great.
got it pulled up better. So the boost match or edge is a little bit different, and it allows you to potentially lock in more profit on a bet while still keeping it risk free if you feel strongly about one side. So we pull up the boost matcher edge here. Everything is still populated. You still have your $50 max bet. So we're using the same example. If you, sorry, I don't know, I didn't have a cold, but I guess my voice is going. If you feel strongly about, say, the Giants tonight, it's a local game. Got a lot of Giants fans by me. They might be believers tonight. I don't know. You're shaking your head.
I'll give my 2 cents after, but go on.
Um, so same thing. You could keep it standard, and you get your standard winnings, like I showed before, $8 or $9. You can also move this slider to change your bet amount. So here now, you can switch it. If you feel strongly about the Giants, you can hedge this bet to have if the Giants win the first half, you'll win $22 versus if the Eagles win the first half, you'll win $2.61. So you can kind of custom move this slider for the amount that you need to bet to based on your liking. So if you feel strongly about the Eagles, you can do the opposite where you'll win 14.35 the Eagles cover the first half, and then you'll only lose $5 instead of risking that whole $50 on your bet. So this is definitely a tool to play around with and a way to make money. Sometimes we definitely get some conversation in the Discord about how do we maximize some more profits, and we only can lock in a couple bucks here and there. This is definitely one of those ways to lock in a little bit more profit. And if you feel strongly about one side or the other, the odds say that the Eagles are more likely. It's more likely for the Eagles to win the first half. So you could move the slider towards them if you want to risk it a little bit more and you like the Giants. You go that way. You go that route. You still lock in $2, but you have a little bit of a higher payout if they do cover.
For what it's worth, this is an awesome tool. I do use it all the time. This is just a really simple way to kind of you're minimizing your risk still, but you're also maximizing your reward in a sense, while also just like hedging against the obviously the downside. But for what it's worth, I am on the Eagles first half spread. So I do like the Eagles first half money line. If someone at home is watching along and wants to join me, I highly recommend you overhedge, but I'm not an expert. So that's
But
just
yeah, so that's one of the options. I just to look at it here to give you paint another picture. If you want to have the FanDuel side where you populate, you go into your max odds, call it like minus 200 or something, a bet here. So you can look at the slider from this perspective. If you want the Eagles, same thing, first half money line. You could lock in 550 with the Eagles if you want to go for a boost on on a favorite in this situation. So it's really you kind of have flexibility with this tool, and you have you can kind of choose and control what you want to do and how you want to go. But it's definitely a cool tool, and I don't think there's much out there like that. So you have the underhedge, standard, and overhedge options, and you have a custom slider here to just figure out what you want to do. So I definitely think anyone in the crowd who wants to profit and has a strong opinion one way or the other, or wants something more to root for as a fan, this is a great option for you.
I like it. Thank you for walking us through that. We got a comment. It was actually from the beginning of the show. And yet you still love them. Yes, I will always love the Yankees. As you can see, I'm still repping them the day after another embarrassing loss. That's the sickness. We all love the Yankees. All we're diehard fans, and we want to see our team be successful. It's just a shame that George Steinbrenner, may he rest in peace, his son does not give the same fuck as his father did. But is what it is.
If I'm not mistaken too, Dan, I think in the crowd you're a Man United fan too. So I think you feel a little bit of our similar pain here. So I don't know. I think you know what it's like.
I'm pretty sure Man United is the exact same replica of the Yankees, just in I guess EPL form. Like once we're like a titan of the league, and now are just just thrilled to be in the playoffs. Obviously, I know the EPL doesn't have playoffs. I don't really know how it works, but that's just my assumption. Okay. Well, thank you for showing us how we can lock in some guaranteed profits tonight. If you want to join me, I'm on the Eagles first half. The Eagles have faced like the highest ranked QBs in the NFL, and they've actually done fairly well against. I think it's been Dak, Baker, Stafford, Mahomes, and Bo Nix. And they've all done pretty well against them. That Eagles defense is still really good, led by Vic Fangio. They're the only defense in the NFL that has held each opposing QB to an EPA below their season median. And tonight they get a rookie in Jackson Dart, who, let's be honest, hasn't looked too great through 2 weeks, who will be out without Darius Slayton and Malik Neighbors. So I expect it to be tough sledding for the New York Giants offense tonight. That's who I like on Thursday Night Football. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a tough game. Thursday Night Football is weird. We obviously saw last week the Rams were 8.5 point favorites against the 49ers when they had basically no players, and Mac Jones and Kendrick Bourne kind of diced them up. So I think that I too I like the Eagles to bounce back and win this game. But if I had to, I'm probably going to stay away from the spread on this game. But I actually think I would take the Giants with the 7.5. I think they actually keep it within a touchdown tonight. But I don't really have confidence in them winning the game. But weirder things have happened on these Thursday Night Football matchups. But the Eagles do look primed to have a nice bounce back week after all the adversity. I feel like that's not adversity, but like what's been going on internally. They've had a lot of frustrations. I feel like last year they had a similar spot like this, and then they went on to just be an extremely dominant team the back half of the season, and no one could really touch them. So I don't really think this is a good spot for them to get right back on track and big games from their big guys who have been started out slow.
I will add that Eli Manning was the last Giants quarterback to win in prime time against the Philadelphia Eagles all the way back in 2008. That's how long it's been.
All right, well, maybe they're not winning, like I said, but I think if I had to pick, I would take the Giants with 7.5 here.
All right, well, we might go ahead peer to peer on this. We'll take
We
out
get on exchange and get after it.
Yeah, we don't even need the prediction markets to do this. All right. Well, before we get into our chalk plays of the week, who are you eyeing in Survivor this week?
There's a lot of good spots this week. I'm kind of torn personally. I want to go ahead and just knock out the Packers and take them because my Survivor pool. I think another good spot for the Packers is I think they're week 9. They have a good matchup, and then in their Thanksgiving week, they're like projected to be the biggest favorite. My Survivor pool doesn't do the Thanksgiving week. You get the whole week, so I don't need to save them for that. So I'm looking at potentially I'm either going to go with the Packers or I'm going to go a little bit off the chart with someone who is not going to be used later in the season, and with the Raiders or the Cowboys. So I'm either between really chalky or two riskier plays. So two ends of the spectrum. There's a lot of clicks that I think are good for Survivor this week. It's just a matter of if you want to take a risk this week and root for chaos, or go ahead and just lock in a chalk pick.
There are a lot of big spreads this week. I think when I last
another
looked,
week.
there was only like 2 games within a field goal of each other. All right, I'm quickly looking at my Survivor and seeing it's between. I'm in a very small pool. There's 2 people left, me and my friend. Yeah, but so I'm gonna make my pick in real time. So
right,
week one, I used the Packers. Week 2, I used the Cardinals. Week 3, the Seahawks. Week 4, Texans. Week 5, as I said on the stream, I took the Vikings, which proved to be very ballsy. But we got out of London with a win. Week 6, I'm going to Sin City. I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders against the Tennessee Titans. The Tennessee Titans needed every single thing to go right for them to get the only win of the season so far last week. I mean, they should have lost 28-6, but DeMercado obviously fumbled at the goal line for a touchback. Then the Titans had one of the craziest plays I've seen in a while. They threw an interception in the red zone and then caused a fumble and recovered the fumble in the end zone for a touchdown. that's a play you will not see for years again. And then obviously they just won the football game on a last-second field goal. The Cardinals have now lost 3 straight games on walk-off field goals, which is tough sledding for them, and not great news for my Cardinals to make the playoffs ticket. So, but all that to be said, I'm taking the Las Vegas Raiders this week. I don't think there's also no future value on them. So
no, if you're using the Raiders, you're using them this week. There's no you're going to use them late in the season when you got no you're just taking a chance, and maybe some team sits guys week 17, 18 or something along those lines, and they have like a favorable matchup because they're still letting Gino out there to sling it around. I think I looked a quick look ahead, and week 18 is like the next possible spot to use them, and that's barring like a lot of teams. Every team's like out of contention, so a lot of stuff can go wrong.
I mean, I'm in a
You got
very
to get there.
well. So if I'm still going head to head with my friend in week 18, I think we'll just shake hands and say let's. But all right, I'm on the Raiders. You're on the Raiders or the Cowboys.
I'm going to see if the line moves a little bit more in the Cowboys' favor, and then I might go with the Cowboys. But there's a really good chance I just take the Packers. I've been going kind of chalky in my bigger pools. I'm trying to go as chalky as I can until I can't, basically. So I've looked at some future value, but I might just end up taking the Packers.
I don't hate it. I mean, if I had the Packers this week, I would take. They're favored by 14. Joe Flacco got traded to the Browns. The Browns traded Joe Flacco to the Bengals, and the spread didn't even move. So he's a corpse back there. He's not mobile.
Yeah, it's insane with their line. Yeah. I just don't like how we talked about it. The wild card scares me a little bit. We don't really know what we're going to get out of it, so that piece scares me a little bit. But the Packers got to win this game.
Yeah, you just also know they're going to sling the ball like 50 times down the field to chase him against Higgins. So if you have them in fantasy, that's an upgrade from Jake Browning. What's your favorite chalk play of the week?
My favorite chalk play of the week. Actually, I just talked about picking them in Survivor. Is the Cowboys -3 at Carolina. The offense looks good. They just demoralized the Jets on Sunday. Javonte Williams looks like he's healthy and a good running back, and with a bad offensive line. And I like them to cover and win this week against Carolina.
Don't hate it. For myself, my favorite, I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos -7. I know there's 7.5 out there now. I took this a little earlier in the week, but as a very unbiased and real Jets fan, let's face it, this team absolutely stinks. I would be surprised if this team with a rookie head coach and staff and a seemingly very bad coaching staff go across the pond to London and keep this within 7. The Jets seemingly cannot get out of their own way. The Jets are the only team in the NFL without a turnover. It's been 5 weeks. That's ridiculous. They average 8 penalties per game. Add in the fact their only playmaker, Garrett Wilson, will likely be blanketed by reigning Defensive Player of the Year, Patrick Surtain Jr. I just don't like this matchup at all for them. The Denver defense is an absolute beast, ranking 3rd in EPA and 1st in success rate. So give me the Broncos, laying the 7 points across the pond.
Yeah, it looks like you can on Novig, you can get them at -6.5 or -116, and ESPN bet you can get -6.5 or -125 too. So I would even get it if you can get it below a touchdown at a decent price too, even better.
They're really. I didn't want to curse.
Yeah,
I can't waste my breath on these teams we root for anymore. I'm just so checked out of the Jets for a while now. It's just I don't really even care at this point in time. It's a waste of energy, and they're just soul-suckingly bad. And until they prove otherwise, what's the point in investing so much time and energy? Call me a fake fan or whatever. Just be a realist. Use your time more appropriately. Go enjoy life. There's more to life than just rooting for an absolutely dog shit football team. Who, mind you, has the longest playoff drought in all of the 4 major professional sports, despite the fact that the NFL is built on parity and half the teams every single year revolve in the you know what I mean. Half the teams change from postseason prior, so
it's insane, and we're back into real rebuild mode again. And I even had on my list for today's stream just when are they going to sell? Who are they going to sell? Who are they going to sell for? I think they got to shed basically any contracts and kind of restart fresh. We're 5 weeks into the season, and I feel like we have this conversation 6 or 7 weeks into the season every year, and we're at that point again. I know it's gonna take time, and we have like a new era, new coach, but uh, them putting out an uncompetitive product in through 5 games every week with the amount of penalties and the amount of mistakes that they've made just doesn't give me any confidence moving forward. And that's just a terrible spot to be as a fan, especially considering, like you just said, they haven't put a competitive product out in 15 years. So there's no, it just nothing has changed and nothing looks like it's changing right now. So I would get rid of put Brees Hall in a real offense and give him a real shot instead of letting his career die in New York.
Yeah, I mean, I would trade everyone that's not named Garrett Wilson, Armand Membu, and you have to keep Sauce Gardner because of what his damage is now against the salary cap. But everyone else, they could be had. But I don't even know if I trust this regime using all these picks and turning them into good players, but we'll see what happens. That being said, don't be afraid to lose out. Go get yourself the number 1 pick. It would be so Jets to get the number 1 pick in a year in which the college quarterbacks all suck. And by the way, if I were making the number 1 pick today, it would be on Dante Moore, the quarterback from Oregon. That being said, I don't even know if he's actually good. He's just the best out of all these college quarterbacks coming out. But moving on, we can't talk about these losers anymore. Give us your dog of the week. Not someone that's going to make, I mean, it can be someone that's going to pull the upset, but which underdog do you at least like to cover?
This week to cover, I actually like the Falcons. I think they play the late Monday night, or no, they're the early Monday night football game against the Bills. The Bills obviously just came off a big loss to the Patriots, but and I think some people are looking at it as a bounce back spot for the Bills, but it's up to 4.5 in some places. I think this is just another game where I think that the Bills still find a way to win this game, but the Falcons end up keeping it close, and it's a field goal game at the end here. I don't think that offense has looked that crazy good with Josh Allen. That last week they didn't give James Cook the ball 100 times and let him run 100 times, and they looked pretty terrible on offense, honestly. So I we'll see, but I think that the Falcons keep this one close on Monday.
I will warn you that the last time Josh Allen and the Bills faced a Jeff Ulbrich defense was last year, and they laid 40 points on them. Obviously, this is a bit different, obviously, completely different team and roster, but just pointing that out there. Well, I don't hate it. Falcons also off a bye, and I kind of think their defense, Ulbricht's done a really good job with their defense. We'll see if their offense can pick up where they left off right before the bye, when they dropped 34 points on the commies. Mm-hmm. I don't love the board this week. I gotta say, admittedly, I have a very, very light card. I also have a 4-day wedding event for one of my good friends. It's a proper Indian wedding, so I won't really be in tune with the week 6 games. But I do want to note that 3 underdogs of over a touchdown won outright last week, which is very, very rare. I don't know if that's going to happen again this week, but I'm just quickly looking at the board.
It's the first time. It's the first time this season we've had like Survivor chaos and big underdog wins. It was pretty chalky to start the year, so it was coming.
For my underdog of the week, give me the Lions +3. Detroit getting a field goal here on the road. Kansas City is obviously coming off a very brutal loss on Monday Night Football, so they've got a very quick turnaround this week. And the Lions, despite losing both coordinators in the offseason, they haven't skipped the beat. They're 4-1. Granted, they haven't really played anyone outside of week 1, but the Lions are humming on offense. They rank number 1 in all major offensive categories through the first 5 weeks of the season. So I'll take a stab at them getting a field goal in KC.
You know, it's funny. My underdog of the week, or my favorite of the week was almost the Chiefs.
Well,
So we might have another head-to-head matchup here.
I'm not personally betting it. Again, I have a very small card, but if I were to, I would take the Lions +3. I've literally only made 2 bets this week, and they were both favorites. The Broncos, and I also took the Pittsburgh Steelers. So it's a light card for me. The Steelers, it's just a brutal spot for the Browns, who opted to not take a bye after their trip to London. Pittsburgh coming off a bye as well, and I'm pretty sure Mike Tomlin and the Steelers usually dominate rookie QBs. I got to go look at the numbers after this, but yeah, give me Pittsburgh there.
Yeah, no, I like that spot too for Pittsburgh. They don't look great, but this is off a bye. They're a team that usually plays really well off a bye.
What's your best bet of the weekend?
I think I'm gonna go to just the. I think we'll go to the game tonight. Like I think that's where I'm at, and I think that I was just looking a second ago and I had it. Um, I think that it's. I mean, it's gonna feel like kind of chalky because it's Saquon Barkley, but I think this is the game that he finally goes over his rushing yards and they kind of feed him. Um, I think it's down to where can you get it? You can get it at, I'm checking right now, 84 and a half, 3.5 on MGM, which I don't know if most people, I feel like if you bet props in any successful form, you don't have MGM anymore. But if you're some of the other places are 86 and a half, I would get it as low as you can get it and be happy going there. But that's where I'm going to go for my best bet of the weekend.
I like it. He hasn't. I don't think he's cleared his rushing number in any game so far this year. So I would have
He
to
doesn't have a lot
assume.
of rushing yards.
No, he doesn't at all. He's also averaging like 3.3 yards per carry. So the injury tag doesn't concern you at all.
No, I think it was just more of a rest thing, and they're going to get him back. Get him back going, and it could be one of those tags where they do that, and then he gets the ball 25 times and rushes for 200 yards. We'll
I
see.
would not be surprised. Um, my best bet of the week is that I'm going to have a fantastic time celebrating my good friend's wedding across 4 different events. I'm going to be very fat, very lubricated, and I hope that you have a lot of winners. I'm going to take it easy this week on the betting board.
Sometimes the best bet is to not bet and just enjoy yourself and just enjoy the games.
That's it. That's what I'm going to try and do. I won't be able to watch much, but look,
You just like yeah, that's the best opportunity for you to lock in
I gotta
profit
see.
using ProfitDuel and
I
and,
gotta.
and just earn money no matter what happens, and you're
That's
good.
it.
You don't have to worry about it.
That's it. Admittedly, I've been very in tune to obviously the Yankees after watching a total of 170 games this year. It's officially football season. So I got to get in the booth, watch the all 22, start scouting a bit more. I'll be ready to fire in week 7. But look, I don't love the board this week, so I'm not going to try and force it. I'm not going to sit here and make up some best bet. I'm going to keep it real with you. Sometimes the best bet is to just sit on your hands, just like in life. Sometimes the best deals you make are the ones you actually don't make. But that's it.
Yeah. I was gonna say too. I feel for the Yankees Giants fans as well because if they get pummeled tonight on Thursday Night Football, I mean it's just brutal. At least the Jets are on Sunday and we have to wait a couple more days, like back to back, back to back. I don't want. It's kind of expected for Giants fans right now. Not heartbreak, but just demoralizing. If I think I have a couple friends who went to the Yankees game last night who are going to the Giants game tonight, and that's just if that's not a good game, that's just a tough look.
Yeah, look, I would be very surprised if that's a good game. But how lucky are we, baby? 9:30 a.m. on Sunday morning, you get to wake up and watch some Jets football. You get to wake up and watch penalties be whistled every other play. You get to watch no one tackle. You get to watch the 3rd down defense let another conversion happen. Oh, boy, I'm excited, and we get to have Rich Eisen on the call, who I think is an unbelievable radio person, but awful NFL broadcast announcer. But again, great radio broadcaster, and great Jet fan. So maybe he'll show his true colors on Sunday and really basically be the voice of reason in the booth and basically point out how ridiculous this is, that they're probably going to be 0-6. Any parting thoughts before we head off?
They might stare. They're staring 0-8 right in the face too. There's not a lot of winnable games that it looks like based on the way they're playing. That's my parting thoughts. It's not looking up. My only other parting thoughts would be that I got my long shot for the rest of the season, and I wish I took it in the parking lot of MetLife on Sunday when my good friend Greg was all over Dak to win the MVP. I think it was at like plus 6,500 or plus 6,000 on Sunday. I ended up taking it on Monday at plus 4,500. Um, I think if the Cowboys get frisky and get to the playoffs, it's going to be strictly because of Dak, and I think he's just big Baker Mayfield because the Bucks are have a better record. Baker Mayfield's Baker's been incredible this year, but he's got like a quarter of the odds of Dak, and I think they've played pretty similar football this year, just minus the record. So if the Cowboys can get frisky, I like it. I think I got it at plus 4,500 on Monday. I think it's down to like plus 3,000 or plus 2,500 now. The favorites are Josh Allen and Mahomes. I don't really, besides the hope that Mahomes kind of turns it around, I don't really know if he's done a whole lot to be in that conversation at the current moment. I would have Baker ahead of him personally, and I guess Josh Allen is they love Josh Allen, so there's no Josh Allen shouldn't have won the MVP last year, and now he's the favorite again this year. So we'll we'll see how that goes. If hopefully the Bills lose a couple more games and he gets out of that conversation.
I like it. I bet on Dak to win MVP 2 years ago when he came in second. So I think he can absolutely do it. I don't see a reason why not. I actually placed I completely forgot about this until now. I was at the G2E conference for a good 36 hours on Sunday and Monday in Las Vegas. And I had $30 in my backpack from a while ago. So it's just like, you know what? I'm just going to throw this found money on some ridiculous future. I actually put it on Liatu Latu, who is a defensive end for the Indianapolis Colts to win Defensive Player of the Year at 125 to 1. I don't think he's actually going to win, but he is one of PFF's highest rated defensive players. He was also a 5-star recruit coming out of high school. He's an elite talent. He has 2 interceptions so far this year. He has I believe 16 pressures through 5 games. So I don't know. I just took a stab at a long shot. If you want to throw some pizza money on it, come join me. If not, totally understand. But Liatu, not a horrible bet at that number, especially on a very, very good Colts defense led by Sweet Lou Anarumo, who is thriving outside of Cincinnati.
Seems like everyone is thriving outside of their old teams in Indianapolis right now. So they look like a legit team.
The Colts look good. I will say, I do like the Cardinals this weekend. I know it's going to be Jacoby Brissett, but I think he's a very capable backup, and it is a revenge game.
If it's Jacoby Brissett, I think I like him more than I do if Kyler's out there.
Maybe.
I like the chaos of the backup QBs in there. You don't really know what to expect. You can't really game plan for it as much.
Yeah, Kyler ultimately ended my fantasy season on Sunday.
Good.
Yeah, just him absolutely bad. Kyler getting hurt in that second half. Also, the ball bouncing off of his face mask. All I needed was 6 points to win. So now I'm 1-4, and it's going to be tough sledding to get out of the cellar here and get back.
You gotta make a big move and sell off some guys and just hope and pray.
Look, it's a keeper league, so I might just punt.
You gotta sit.
Just accumulate draft picks like the Cleveland Browns are currently doing, and what the New York Jets should be doing. But we'll see what happens. All right. Any parting thoughts besides that?
Nope. I think we basically covered everything this week. So
I have one last thought. If Anthony Volpe is the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees next season, I'm going to lose it. Like, if there's no competition at all, that is just absolutely insane. You have 3 seasons of data showing that he is a below average, basically a replacement player. So you want to keep coddling Golden Boy, you will not have the stands filled up. I can guarantee you that. But that's it. It's just ridiculous. I can't watch that guy play baseball anymore and be the starting shortstop for the New York Yankees. Also, shout out to Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter for basically shitting on the New York Yankees front office last night and basically throwing them under the rug a bit. You could really tell the animosity between Brian Cashman and A-Rod is real. And even with Jeter and Cashman, there's a long history between all those guys and Cashman. So, but I respect that. It's nice to see someone basically poo-poo the front office. After all, there are so many reporters out there that are absolute shills for them. Cough, cough, Andy Martino. But yeah, that's our show. And we'll see you next week.